Damn Studio Leica, back at it again. Traumatizing children. But that's why we love you. Kubo and the Two Strings is the latest stop-motion movie by Studio Leica. Studio Leica, of course, did The Box Trolls a couple of years ago, which I did a video on. And perhaps I gave it too much of a glowing review in my video. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means, but considering some of their other works, it just didn't feel up to par. Because Studio Leica also brought us Paranorman and Coraline. Now this is what I'm talking about. These two movies I like to consider like a yin and yang, because they're both great, but if you want great characters, you go with Paranorman. But if you're looking for straight up horror, Coraline. But Kubo and the Two Strings seems to be their biggest project yet, and I mean that both literally and figuratively, because so much production seemed to go into this movie, because there was a lot of movement, a lot of characters were moving on screen at the same time. There was a lot of big, epic locations. And here's a fun fact for you. At one point in the movie, the main characters fight a giant skeleton, and the puppet was actually bigger than the people that were animating it. It's the largest stop-motion prop ever made. So the plot of this movie is that Kubo's mother is trying to protect him from his grandfather and his two aunts, who are evil spirits. They end up finding out where Kubo and his mother are hiding, and while she's fending them off, she sends Kubo off to find the armor and sword of his father, who was a human. On his journey, he's accompanied by Monkey, who's voiced by Charlize Theron, and Beetle, who's voiced by Matthew McConaughey. Alright. I loved the two of these characters. They were really funny. Beetle especially. Monkey was pretty badass. They had some really genuine moments with Kubo, and the way the two of them interacted was great. And I'll be honest, it did get a little weird in a few moments, but without spoiling anything, it does start to make a little sense as the movie goes on. Art Parkinson was really great as Kubo as well. I wish I could make some Game of Thrones comment, but I can't. Ralph Fiennes was also great as Kubo's grandfather, and when you have a movie where a villain is chasing a little boy, you might as well get Voldemort to play him. There was a lot of focus on storytelling and atmosphere in this film. The opening was spectacular, and what I loved is after, you know, this huge spectacular opening, they fast forward a little bit to when Kubo grows up. Through some great storytelling elements, they established that because she is the daughter of a moon spirit, she kind of goes catatonic during the day, where she's just kind of sitting there, seemingly empty husk, but then when the moon comes out, she starts to remember, and she becomes more lively, and then when the sun starts to rise, she starts to go back, and she starts forgetting things, and then she just kind of goes to sleep, and it was very well executed. What I really love about this movie, outside of the amazing visuals and the storytelling, is that the story itself is original. I mean, they did borrow stuff from Japanese culture, obviously, but you would look at this and swear that, you know, this is clearly based on the story of the boy who plays the guitar and fights monsters with paper creatures or something. And there might be things like that in Japanese lore, but as far as I know, they pretty much just made this whole thing up. It's about as original as it gets nowadays. My one kind of gripe with this movie was the final resolution. Specifically what happens to the Moon King at the end. I'm not spoiling anything, but it felt weird. I mean, there was parts of it that kind of made sense, but it didn't feel 100% right. And I'm nitpicking, I know. But other than that, I really don't have anything bad to say about this movie. I thought it was great. The only thing that's kind of disconcerting is that apparently it's not doing that great at the box office, which is kind of a crime. Great animation going unnoticed? I won't allow it! I want to encourage everybody who sees this video to go see this movie. I highly, highly recommend it. So be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of Kubo. I want to see reports in the comment section. That's your homework. Support this movie. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.